Hi. So I'm going to go over with you today's lesson for Thursday. So here is your assignments for today. Ms. Riggins gave you ELA and civics for math. You're doing step 1, which is watching this video. You'll complete your assignment on McGraw-Hill like we showed you in class, and you'll get 2 attempts. So make sure you check your score. I'll take the best score. And then in science, both days you're working on your WebQuest project. For math on Friday, there will be no video. The only thing you'll need to do is complete the equivalent fraction lesson on iReady, which is assigned to you under your lessons. All right, and don't forget to do your specials. So here we go. For today, we're going to continue with the lesson that we did on Wednesday. So we're understanding how to compare ratio relationships. So today we're going to compare those ratio relationships with a table. On Wednesday, we compared those ratio relationships with a graph. Today we're going to do it with a table. So this would be example 2 in your book. Here's what it says. Roman is considering different bird seeds to fill his feeder. He measured in ounces. Recipe A has sunflower seeds to peanut ratio of 2:3. Recipe B has a ratio of 3:4. Recipe C has a ratio of 5:6. And he wants to know which recipe has the greatest ratio of ounces of sunflower seeds to ounces of peanuts. So what this problem told you was your beginning ratio. So I know I have 3 different recipes, a recipe A, B, and C, and it gave me the starting ratio. So recipe A, it says, has a 2:3 ratio. Sunflower seeds to peanuts. So it means sunflower seeds is the first number, to peanuts. So sunflower seeds is 2, peanuts would be the 3. Recipe B, it has a ratio of 3:4. So again, sunflower seeds being the 3, peanuts being the 4. Remember in the ratio, the first number is the first item listed. So this said sunflower seeds to peanuts. So sunflower seeds is your first number. Recipe C is 5:6. Right? So we need to compare these ratios because we want to know which one has the greatest ratio of ounces of sunflower seeds to peanuts. So what we're trying to do is build out these ratio tables till they have the same amount of peanuts, and that will tell us, we'll be able to look at the number above the peanut number and see who has the greatest sunflower seed number. Okay, so as I continue, I just know that I'm counting by 2s across the top. So 2, 4, 6, 8. My bottom number is 3, which means as I continue down my ratio table, I've created equivalent ratios down my ratio table. I'm going to do the same thing for recipe B and recipe C. So recipe B, counting by 3s again, so it's going to look very similar to the peanuts up there. Now, peanuts here is counting by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16. Counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. Counting by 6s. 6, 12, 18, and 24. So I now have my 3 ratio tables. So here's what my question asks. Which recipe had the greatest ratio of ounces to sunflower seeds compared to ounces of peanuts? So I'm going to look at my peanut number, and I'm going to find the ratio table on the ratio table where the number is the same. Meaning, do all of them have a 3? No. Do all of them have a 6 in the bottom part of my ratio table where I'm looking at the peanuts? Well, this one does, but that one doesn't. Do all of them have a 9? No, no 9 for peanuts. Do all of them have a 12? Yes, they all have a 12. So this is the number, this is the ratio that I'm going to use to compare. Those are the numbers that I'm using to compare. So when I look, if recipe A has 12 ounces of peanuts, then it has 8 sunflower seeds. When it's recipe B, when it has 12, it has 9. Recipe C, when it has 12, it has 10. So my question asks me, which recipe has the greatest? So as I'm looking at these numbers, when peanuts is 12, the biggest number is recipe C. C has the most at 10 because 10 is bigger than 8, it's bigger than 9, and so 10 would be the biggest, greatest ratio. So we would say recipe C has the greatest ratio of ounces of sunflower seeds to ounces of peanuts, right? So here are your steps. You are first setting up your beginning ratios, continuing your ratio tables out until you find a number on the bottom that is the same in all three. Then you can go back and look at the top and see which one's the greatest. It may ask you which one's the least. You'll just have to listen to the question and see what it's asking you to look for once you find the number that is the same. But having that number the same is how we can compare ratios, because that means each one of these had 12 ounces of peanuts. So we can compare the ounces of sunflower seeds once our ounces of peanuts were all the same. Okay? So I'm going to put a checkup right now. I want you to pause my video, give this check a try, and then unpause it, and I'll go over the answer and see how you did. All right? So here we go for our check. So just like if we were in class, I'm going to put the check up. You pause the video, give yourself some time to work it out, and see how you do. Okay? So here's what the problem said, and I've got the table set up. So we're going to compare reading and math. All right, so here's what the problem says. When working on homework, Bailey spent 15 minutes on reading and 20 minutes on math. So let me help you get that started. Here is Bailey. 15 minutes on reading, 20 minutes on math. Then it moves on to Aisha. Aisha spent 12 minutes on reading and 15 minutes on math. She spent 12 minutes on reading, 15 minutes on math. And our third person is Tyler. He spent 7 minutes reading and 10 minutes on math. Tyler spent 7 minutes on reading, 10 minutes on math. Here's the question that it's asking you. Which person has the greatest ratio of minutes spent on reading to minutes spent on math? So go ahead and pause the video and continue my ratio tables and see if you can answer my question. Which person has the greatest minutes of reading compared to minutes of math? All right, let's see how you did. So as I continue, I'm going to first have to continue these ratio tables, and I'm going to count out by 15s over here. Remember, you are going to have the use of your calculator. So you are welcome to use a calculator on this portion if you need to, as you get up into the numbers that may be a little more difficult that you do not know. All right, and then count by 20. So that would be 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. And no, there's no set number that I need to count out to. I just have to have enough that I can find the same number when I'm talking math minutes. So I have ratios to compare. So I'm going to count by 12s now. 12, 24, 36, we get 48, 60, 72. Count by 15s again. Good. All right. So looking at these first two, let's see, they both have 60s. Let's see if I can get a 60 in this bottom number. All right, count by 7. So 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. There we go. All right, so I need to compare their minutes spent on reading to minutes spent on math. So when I look, reading and math, well, it looks like, and we talked about this after I finished the first one, they both had a 60 for minutes of reading, and so did Tyler. So I'm going to use this right here, because remember, if we're comparing ratios, we have to have the same in one of those numbers. So when I get my minutes of math to the same number, now I can compare. And my question was, who spent the greatest number of minutes reading compared to math? So let's look. They all got 60 minutes of math. We've got 42 minutes of reading for Tyler, 48 minutes of reading for Aisha, and 45 minutes reading for Bailey. So when I look, this is my biggest number. So my answer is Aisha spent the most, she had the greatest number of minutes of reading compared to minutes of math. Remember, that's because all of our math minutes were the same. I can only compare when I have the same number in that math spot. I can't compare at my beginning ratio because those aren't the same. So in order to compare ratios, I have to have one number the same, and then I can look at the other number and answer that question. Which one's the greatest? Which one's the least? So because all math was at 60, my greatest number here was that 48. Okay? So on your McGraw-Hill assignment, there are going to be 4 things to do. You are going to have to fill in your ratio tables, and then you are going to compare. See which one, read your question carefully. It may ask for the greatest. It may ask for the least. That would be Tyler. Tyler spent the least time studying reading compared to math. So be sure you read your question carefully as you're going through those 4 questions on your McGraw-Hill. Remember, to access your McGraw-Hill, you are going to, in ClassLink, to the McGraw-Hill app, click on it, and then go to Assignments, and you will see an assignment for lesson 1.4. All right? You can email me if you have any questions. Remember, you get 2 attempts, so give it a second try if the first try doesn't go so well. Have a great spring break, and I will see you guys Monday.